The news about the status of Scream 7 is no longer radio silent. Yeah, you see what I did there? Let's talk about this. Hey guys, so as everyone has heard, the news has dropped and it is very exciting for all of us as Scream fans. Scream 7 is green lit and we have a new director, and that will be Christopher Landon. This is it's great news, guys. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting for some news on what was going to be happening with the state of Scream 7. We were hoping that there was going to be a quick turnaround, just like there was between Scream 5 and Scream 6, but that was not the case, and we're dealing with the strike and everything now. So, anyways, the fact that we've got this news, it is really, really great to hear. So, Radio Silence is not going to be directing Scream 7, but they will stay on as executive producer. Christopher Landon comes in with a load of talent and a load of experience, having been the director of things like Freaky and the Happy Death Day films. He's done writing, the Paranormal Activity movies. He did the Paranormal Activity, the Marked Ones film, and other stuff too. So this is really, really, I think it's the best case scenario. And I've said that on previous live streams. This is about as good as it's going to get. We've talked about different directors that we would like to come on board if Radio Silence wasn't going to return. And Christopher Landon was one of them, and I think that his style fits in with what we're going to hopefully have happen with these returning characters. Assuming that they're going to return, that's like a whole nother story that we'll be getting to at some point, I'm sure. But for right now, the idea of Scream 7 moving forward with Christopher on board, I'm really excited about it. Now, I know that there are a lot of fans, and maybe some of you guys that are watching too, that do have some reservations, or you might be nervous about this. And I get it. I truly do get it, because Scream 6 did so well. And I think that the characters also became much more beloved. I know they did for me. When you talk about the core four, I think that there was a lot more development of their characters in Scream 6. So now the question is, what's going to happen with Scream 7? Now, what you also have to remember is we have a new director, but we're going to still have the same writing. So James and Guy, they're going to be doing the writing for Scream 7 as far as we know. And so the character arcs and the rhythm of these stories should be very consistent. There shouldn't be much of a difference that we see as far as what these characters do in the story. My question, or I should say, what I think will be a possible advantage, is because of the fact that Christopher is he's well versed in writing himself. I think that this is going to be good news for the film, because you're going to have those moments where things, they might seem like they're going to work, and then when you're filming them, it just doesn't jive. And you're going to have a director now who is able to kind of fill in those gaps sometimes. Maybe there's a character that makes a choice that doesn't really make as much sense as previously thought. And you're going to now have a director who can, with his own experience level, which is very, very good, be able to help make things work better. And I think that that's a really, really cool thing. Wes Craven did the same thing. There were times when Wes would step in and help out a little bit, whether it was on Scream 3 and so forth. So I think that this is good news. I do know on social media, we have a huge fan base, and there are some folks that are very, very on board with this. A lot of us had been predicting this as we were heading towards this moment of getting this announcement. We saw the lines in the sand, in other words, because Radio Silence, their slate is getting packed. They're working on their monster movie. They're going to be working on the Escape from New York movie and so forth. You've got Jenna, who she's obviously got a lot of things going on. So we already knew that there was going to be a longer timetable for Scream 7 to come about, and that was even before the strike. That adds a whole nother layer to everything. But at least right now they've got the some of the pieces of the puzzle together, and you gotta figure out who's going to direct the movie. If Radio Silence isn't going to be the directors, then you've got to know who's going to direct this film. You got to get that situated. So now we do, and now we know kind of the direction that they're going to move in. The biggest questions that are going to be coming now is that, can we get the whole cast together? What's going to be the plan? Will they be able to get Nev Campbell back? I personally am very curious about all of that, because I think that there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on, mainly, and I think more so with the studio rather than who's directing it. I think Nev was really frustrated with the studio and how things went with Scream 6. So hopefully they're going to be smart enough to know that we want Nev Campbell involved with this film. And if it is the end of this trilogy, or maybe the end of this particular story, we don't know any of that. We're just theorizing. But if it is, you have to have Sidney Prescott involved. There's no doubt about that. So they need to figure out what they need to do to get Nev Campbell back on board, and then move from there. The other thing that I would really like to mention is that now that we got Scream 7 greenlit, we've got a new director. We've seen how 5 and 6 kind of followed or paralleled Scream 1 and 2. The question is 7 going to parallel what happened in Scream 3? Are we going to Hollywood? That is a big question. Me personally, I'm not against it per se, as long as they can make the story make sense. I've been more of the mindset that having them go somewhere else, like if they were on vacation or something like that, that's something that we've talked about in live streams on the Lethal Collective and so forth. I think that that would be something that would be really, really cool. And to actually use that location more to their benefit. They had some moments, in Scream 6 where they were utilizing the location to their benefit. We've talked about that a lot as well. But look, there were some things that they just couldn't do because they weren't actually in New York. So I think that for 7, it would be really cool if they could, if they are somewhere, to utilize the location a bit more. And I think that they will do these things. From 5 to 6, I think they really tightened up on the ideas and really delivering on the promise of things. We saw a lot of what we wanted to kind of be bettered upon, and we saw it in Scream 6. Scream 5 was very much more in a smaller sandbox, and Scream 6 really was opened up more. We saw some kills that were very, very cool, and the tension and atmosphere leading up to those kills were very cool. The only thing for me, and I've talked about this in videos, the only thing for me is that we just had too many survivors. We we had way too many survivors in Scream 6. That being said, another thing to think about too for 7 is, will the choices that they made in 6 have, what kind of impact will they have on the decisions that they make for the characters in 7? Will we lose a ton of these characters in 7 because we didn't in 6? Those are things that'll be really interesting. And that is what comes into play when you're talking about a long-standing franchise. So either way, I'm really, really excited. I think the movie is going to be in good hands. I think that you've got these actors and actresses that are coming back to play characters for a third time. And of course, in the case with Nev and with Courtney, a lot of times. So, there's going to be a lot of experience on this movie set, this production. And I think that bodes well for the film, for the end product. So anyways, for you guys, I know that this is big news, and I'm glad that I got a chance to put this video out, because it's been burning in my mind to talk about it ever since I found out. So let me know what you guys have been thinking about this news. Are you nervous about Christopher coming on board and being the director? Are you hopeful? Don't lose your crap. Don't lose your crap like some people on social media have when you when you go on Reddit, man, it's absolutely crazy out there. Um, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Don't forget to hit the like button. It helps to support the channel, and I'd appreciate it if you're not subscribed to the Nightwatch Zone. This is the time to do it. Do it, do it, do it. And I'll talk to you guys later. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Nightwatch. Peace.